What's up everyone, welcome back to ARTV. My name is John and it's time for a review of the debut album by the indie pop artist The Japanese House. It's titled Good at Falling. The Japanese House is the solo project of musician Amber Bain, a multi-instrumentalist who mainly plays to the indie pop and perhaps synth pop variety. I've enjoyed her music for a while now. I discovered her in 2015 with the fantastic Clean EP. It was really an immersive experience that I was wholeheartedly on board with, and I was excited to see what she would do next. Now, before this debut album came out, I actually only heard one of the singles, and that was Follow My Girl, but that was enough to pique my interest, put it on the radar, and say, I have to hear this thing, of course I do. Good at Falling is a closely connected group of 13 songs that rarely miss the mark and always leave you with the sting of emotion. They all belong together, even if a few cuts sound a bit sluggish when compared to the heavy hitters, and it's clear that Amber's music comes from real-life experiences, real-life muses, and introspection. Synthesizers shape up the soundscape in a variety of different ways depending on the track, but they're often a quaint blend of 80s influences and modernism rolled into one package. The bass work also grabbed me on a surprising amount of songs, not just a booming echo in the mix, but a dedicated pattern that actually gets quite intricate when you take the time to listen. Genre-wise, it lands mainly in the field of indie synth pop, although there's some occasional sugar and spice that's thrown into the mix, whether that be some extra guitars that you're not gonna see coming, or maybe some big booming drums that feel like they're straight out of an 80s film soundtrack. The cohesion is appreciated as the songs quite nicely trickle into each other like a babbling brook, which inadvertently ties in once again to Amber's ongoing obsession and consistent themes of water when tied to love. For some, the undeniable similarities between her and her label mates, the 1975, are gonna be too much, but I have to argue that those songs are few and far between, so don't tie yourself up in a knot over it. There's a crisp feeling that really resonates on Good at Falling. The production, mainly from the work of the 1975's George Daniel as well as B.J. Burton, is loose enough to allow some creative layering, but tight enough to keep the tracks from slipping away and being squandered. We all love a well-layered cake, and there's certainly plenty of treats that are left along the way for us, with The Hungover Everybody Hates Me dishing out doses of huge 80s drum hits and warped synths, while We Talk All the Time is a sad rager where Amber shares the disconnect that's occurred in her relationship. The music feels familiar more often than not, but no points are coming off on my end for that one. It feels oddly nostalgic even though we the listener haven't experienced the shit that she's been through. The key is that even though we haven't been through it, we actually feel it ourselves, and that is what makes a good artist. Nothing is lost in translation, so you can chalk that up as a win for the Japanese House. This isn't necessarily an album where I feel compelled to break down every song individually. I feel sometimes I get caught up in trying to do that to appease the fans that are shouting in the comments, why didn't you mention this track? Why didn't you mention this one? Why didn't you talk about this one? And the fact is that sometimes a general overall description is all you need, and I want you to hear the record for yourself. This is certainly an album to play front to back, but of course, I can't go away without mentioning some of the specifics. You Seemed So Happy has a vocal melody that reminds me of indie music of the 2000s, and the bass is so skillfully played here that I can't resist repeat listens. The acoustic guitar lays gently in the mix and complements Amber's vocal and synth line perfectly. As I noted, Follow My Girl is the only pre-release single that I heard before Good at Falling. It has washed out synthesizers, reverb, I think some vocal manipulations that really make up the backbone of the beat, if you will, for this track, and also a very commanding chorus that really evokes a feeling of magic. Something about it feels like a mirage in the desert, like it's not there at first, but once that chorus rolls around, you know you're in the thick of this emotional warfare, for lack of a better term. Maddie Healy joins for backing vocals on Far Away, which I noticed without hesitation even before learning about the deeper association she had with the 1975. It's a great pairing of voices and one of the best songs on the album. It adds in a forlorn synth to the mix to ensure that this is destined to become a future prom night slow dance staple. Other specific tracks worth noting would be Maybe You're the Reason, which comes out of the album's opener, a little intro track with some invigorating synths that gain momentum and add in a rolling bass that hooks you on the album right away. Marika is Sleeping is a slightly haunting atmospheric piece that I see as one of the essential bones of this album, especially once that guitar lick kicks in midway through the song. It's just a game changer. Amber's insight and ability to work a synth while bringing a whole vision to life is remarkable. It's topped off by the skilled production of George Daniel on most of the tracks, and this collection does feel like a family of songs as an album should. There may be a few repeated thoughts or instrumental sections that don't really feel like they add that much other than time, but Good at Falling is a great debut album that really sets the bar high for her future releases. For me personally, I'm going to give this a strong 4 out of 5, and I would love to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like on this video, and I would highly recommend that you check this out. If you are into the 1975, there are a few similarities, and it could be a gateway into a whole new world. Thanks for watching my review of the debut album Good at Falling by the Japanese House. Make sure to subscribe for the love of music, because we talk about it multiple times per week, every week on both of my channels. If you're able to support the channel on Patreon, it would be greatly appreciated. It's the top link down below, or the annotation of the corner. It helps videos like this keep coming each and every month. A couple of recent reviews here, and I'll see you soon for more on ARTV.